How's it going? My name is Will Richardson, and I'm doing my presentation today on the pursuit of Africology, on the creation and sustaining of Black studies. I apologize if there's a little bit of extra noise in the background. I'm at work right now, but I'll be doing this presentation, and here we go. So, origins of the pursuit. So, towards the 19th century, universities and colleges began to implement courses related to African studies due to an increasing number of faculty and students with African descent. Students at the San Francisco State University campaigned for more courses related to the experiences of African people in 1968. And following the campaign, Nathan Hare founded the first department of Black Studies at SFSU just a year later. So this new exposure on the African experience in American universities and colleges jump-started what is called the Black Studies Revolution. Much of this revolution was jump-started because of the struggles for equality carried on by African American students, as well as the political, social, and economic ideas of self-determination and self-definition. So essentially, the goal was to create a Black perspective in the American Academy in the social sciences, arts, and humanities. Many universities had differing names for this course of study, but these names ranged from African American Studies to African World Studies, and then eventually to Africology, which is the term that has gained the most recognition. All right, so setting the agenda. The demand for Africology courses increased drastically at the end of the 19th century, but the supply of faculty members to teach these courses could not keep up. This did not deter students. In fact, their movement actually increased or gained even more speed because they were very motivated by their experiences of persistent white racial domination in their classrooms. These students wanted additional Black faculty members, Black cultural centers, lecture programs of outstanding Black scholars, and sensitivity classes for white members. Okay, a search for faculty. The struggle to find Black professors to teach these courses was a difficult task for many universities. The majority of Black professors, which was few, taught at predominantly Black universities in the South. So many Black professors were taught, and many Black professors were taught by white professors, so it was difficult for them to abandon the attitudes of their white professors in order to be successful teachers in Black studies. But the ones that could overcome it were exceptionally brilliant and almost heroic. One of them being Boniface, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Boniface Obachiri. He was one of the exceptionally brilliant teachers who taught Africology at UCLA. But to me, the most interesting thing that I learned when reading this chapter was that universities were very desperate to hire African Americans to teach these courses, that they often hired Black men and women who didn't have the terminal degrees to teach these courses, but these teachers had other degrees, which meant that significant community members and activists could teach in their own fields of expertise and achievement. I'm sure those students who learned from these activists and community members received an outstanding, diversified, cultured education. Okay, next slide. So three significant movements. So there are three significant movements that occurred during this Black Studies revolution that I will discuss. Those are the Black Studies movement, the Africana Studies movement, and the Africological movement. The Black Studies movement was not a physical movement, but rather an organized group of ideas that formed the core philosophy. Students across many universities figured out the missing links in the institutional chain, essentially essentially the things missed within the education of African studies. From across the country, students projected their vision of Africology and were often arrested and attacked by police. But these projections opened up doors within universities of African studies, or for African studies. This movement was a move for self-definition, self-determination, and mental liberation. The African Studies movement was actually the new name for the Black Studies movement. The aim was to make the field more academic and less political by changing the name. Africana was more than saying African American. It was more about the African experience in the world, and the Africological movement was a transgeneration and transcontinental movement that was refined by professors to Africology. The new movement was quickly adopted by Temple University's doctoral program. The term Africology showed that there was no longer a field, but rather a discipline of study. The term sounded professional and attractive, thus boosting interest in the field. So, final thoughts. To conclude this topic discussion, it is important to understand that Africology is not concluded. African history is not complete. The pursuit of Africology will not be complete until Black Studies departments refurbish their faculties with PhDs who have completed the terminal degree in their field. There are many universities